Hello everyone. Today I am going to cover one of the important topic, that is molecular basis of signal transduction. In the series of signal transduction pathway, this is one of the very basic and important aspect to be understand. Here in this topic we are going to understand what is the functionality of this molecular signal transduction pathway. It means how ligand will interact with the receptors and molecular basis of signal transduction occurs. In this topic, first we will try to understand what is signal transduction. As I have already covered signal molecule, you now know that how this signal molecule is interacting with the receptors. Once signal molecule will bind to the receptor, there are certain type of conformational changes occurs on the receptors. Due to this conformational changes, receptors are now activated. Now, these receptors are either already binded to the enzyme or certain type of cytoplasmic enzyme will bind to the receptor, and finally secondary messengers will be activated. These secondary messengers will convey the masses inside the cell, and finally either they are responsible for the activation of protein or they are going to bind to any type of some responsive elements which are responsible for the gene expression, and finally biological responses occurs. Let us try to understand one by one. At first, signal molecule will bind to the receptor. Question is, what is signal molecule? Signal molecules are basically primary messengers, which I have already explained. There are three types. They may be hydrophilic, they may be hydrophobic, or they may be gas. Those signal molecules which are hydrophilic, they are going to bind on cell surface. It means the receptors are present on cell surface. Those type of signal molecule which are hydrophobic as well as gases, they are able to diffuse through the membrane, and hence their receptor will be present either in the cytoplasm or the receptors are present on nucleus. So cytoplasmic or nuclear receptors will be present. Now, what is exactly ligand and what ligands are doing? These ligands are signal molecule, they bind to the receptors and they are responsible for some of the conformational changes of receptor. So in the in this diagram I have shown ligands which is considered as primary messengers, then secondary messengers. Secondary messengers are basically produced inside the cell. So try to understand the difference between primary and secondary messengers. Primary messengers are generally produced by one type of secretory cells, and these primary messengers will bind on receptors, and finally in response of primary messenger, secondary messengers are activated inside the cytoplasm, and they are responsible to convey the message from one location to other, and they are responsible for the certain type of biological responses. Then third is cascade of event, that is called transduction, that is signal transduction. So there are different type of events occurs. Say for example, protein kinase are activated. Try to understand here a simple concept. When signal molecule bind to receptor, certain type of changes occurs. Secondary messenger will activate. This secondary messenger will convey message via protein kinase. There are various type of protein kinase activated, like protein kinase A, protein kinase B, protein kinase C, etc., and they are responsible for the further transduction of some responses. See, this is ligand which is coming out from the cell, that is they are extracellular. Then second is secondary messengers which are produced inside the cell, and third is responses, that is different type of biological responses. Now in the different diagram you can understand clearly that different type of ligand molecules which are very specific for the particular receptor, they will bind and they convey message in the cytoplasm. Now the message will be conveyed by secondary messengers. These secondary messengers are responsible for activation of protein kinases. Now kinase will either responsible for the phosphorylation of protein present in cytoplasm, or this kinase will activate other kinase will activate further kinases, and finally by this transduction pathway those molecules which are responsible for the gene expression, they becomes activated and they are doing their own work. Now try to understand how ligand will interact with the receptors. There must be certain specificity with the ligand and receptor. Upon the cell membrane, there are so many receptors present. Thousands of receptors are present, and there are different type of ligands also which are going to bind to the receptors. There must be some specificity between the ligand and receptors. Various type of ligands will be simultaneously act on receptor, but remember, as such, as you have already studied enzyme which are bind to the substrate, like in the same way here ligands are very specific for the particular receptors. So ligand receptor binding is very equivalent to enzyme substrate. It means these ligands are very specific for the particular receptors, and therefore when ligand will bind to the receptor, there are several thousands of receptors present, but ligand will be specifically binding with the particular receptors. This is not exactly similar with the lock and key model. In lock and key model, there are certain type of changes occurs and ligands will be separated. Here there are a little bit difference you will observe from the enzyme substrate. Here what is going to happen, once ligand will bind to the receptor, we are saying it is very specific, or a single word we are using specificity. There must be certain affinity also. Here what is affinity? Once ligand will bind to the receptor, after binding, how much they are bind, it is very important. Sometimes there are certain type of ligands which are structurally very similar. It means, suppose I am talking regarding two ligands and one receptor. These two ligands are very common in the structure, but one of the ligand will bind to receptor and they can activate receptor, but other ligands when bind to the receptor they are not able to activate. Why? The reason is, one is specificity, second is affinity. The second ligands do not have much affinity with the particular receptor, and that's why they are not able to activate the receptors. Now affinity I will explain later on by the Scatchard analysis, but third word you should remember, cooperativity. Receptors are also cooperative for the ligands. It means when ligand will bind to the receptor, there must be some cooperativity between these two. Now there is a question, if ligand will bind to receptor activate. After activation, final signal transduction process occurs, but how much time it will go away, or you can say what will be the time scale, how much time will be there when ligand will bind to the receptor and final transduction will occurs. So here you should remember that when ligand will bind to the receptor, up to certain seconds or minutes or hour, this type of transduction occurs. After that, these ligands should be automatically removed from receptors. If they are not removed from the receptors, on that time signal will be continuous and biological response will be continuous, and that is not good for the cell, and that's why somehow desensitization process occurs. This affinity are explained in terms of Scatchard analysis. Scatchard analysis say that when receptor will bind to the ligand, there is a complex formation occurs, and it can be expressed in terms of equilibrium constant. You have already gone through the chemistry and you know what is equilibrium constant. When receptor will bind to the ligand, there is a RL complex form, and this RL will be indicated as K plus 1, whereas if they are separated, then it is considered as K minus 1. K plus 1 and K minus 1 can be indicated as Ka and Kd, where Ka is considered as association constant and Kd is considered as dissociation constant. During association constant, RL by R plus L, it means receptor binding complex upon receptor and ligand separately will occurs, and remember Ka is always inversely proportional to Kd. It means association is always inversely proportional to dissociation. Other word, you have to understand amplification. Till that time, what we understand that ligand will bind to the receptor, there must be cooperativity, there must be affinity, and finally they are responsible for the transduction of pathway. During transduction, secondary messengers are activated first. These secondary messengers are responsible for activation of protein kinase. Now one protein kinase can activate so many different kinases. Then this different kinases activate so many other kinases. It means there is an amplification process occurs. It means one ligand will bind to one receptor can activate several secondary messenger can activate several more hundreds of that protein kinases. That protein kinase are able to activate more and more amount of kinase. So this process is known as amplification. So one signal molecules are able to activate millions of the different type of kinases, and finally biological responses occurs. Next is desensitization. As I already told you that once signal molecule will bind to the receptor, they should be later on desensitized. What is desensitization? If ligand will bind to receptors, they should be separate from the ligand after certain time period. The reason is, as I already told you, that once ligand will bind to receptors, several millions of the protein kinase are activated and biological responses are going on. But biological responses should be stopped whenever it is not required. For that, desensitization must occur. Desensitization means ligands should be removed from receptors. Either they are automatically removed, or if they are not removed, they should be internalized inside the cell. Internalization, it means in the diagram I have already shown that there is a signal transduction pathway where G protein coupled receptors are present. Ligand will bind to the G protein coupled receptors, and once transduction occurs, this G protein along with ligand, try to understand, if ligand is not going to remove separate from the receptors, both ligand and receptor will be internalized, and they will be, after internalization inside the cell, they are going to be degraded via the interference of lysosome. So this process is known as desensitization, or it is also known as adaptation. Further, integration is one kind of signal transduction pathway. In the case of integration, there are certain type of receptors which are separate. Separate, it means one receptors are present on one location, other receptors are present on far away on the other location. But once ligand will going to bind to the one receptor, only single receptors are not able to convey the message. So two receptors are integrated with one ligand. I again repeat, two receptors are bind to one ligand, and finally due to work of these two receptors, they are activated and they are responsible for the transduction of pathway. Sometimes it may be happen that one receptor will bind to one ligand and other receptor will bind to other ligand, but still they are not activated. So it may be possible that one ligand bind to one receptor, other ligand bind to other receptors, but they should be close contact. Once they will come in the close contact, they can autophosphorylate and finally transduction occurs. It means for the transduction, it is sure that whether ligand is 1 or ligand is 2, but receptors should be dimerized, or we can say integrate. Here I have explained different type of receptors. There are 5 type of receptor. They may be gated ion channel, they may be receptor enzyme which is present on plasma membrane, they may be receptor protein, or it is also known as serpentine receptors. There may be nuclear receptors. Nuclear receptors are steroid receptor. They are present in the nucleus, or they are present nearby the nucleus, it may be possible. And receptors with no enzyme activity, and the example is JAK-STAT. For the gated ion channel, the example is acetylcholine. For receptor enzymes, best example is insulin. For serpentine receptor, the best example is epinephrine. For nuclear, estrogen. And for enzymatic receptor, one of the best example is JAK-STAT. The diagram next which I have shown here is looks to be more complicated, but it is not so much complicated. Here you try to understand, I am explaining the first receptor, that is gated ion channel. In the further video, I will explain details of all these receptors, but here I have given just a brief that what is gated ion channel. Gated ion channel are those channel whose gates are usually closed, but once the ions need to be passed, they becomes open. For detail I will explain later. The next is receptor enzymes. They are dimerized. As I have already explained that receptor enzymes are present separately on the membrane, but once ligand will bind, they will dimerize, autophosphorylate and activate each other. Third one is serpentine receptor, which is also known as G protein coupled receptor. These receptors are belonging to the largest family, and later on I will explain in detail what is serpentine receptor. You have to study serpentine receptor in detail separately. Then fourth is receptor with no intrinsic enzyme activity. This type of receptors also I will explain later on. And steroid receptors. Steroid receptors, it is not mentioned in your syllabus, but try to understand those type of molecules which are steroid or hydrophobic in nature. Most of these molecules are entered directly into the cell, and finally inside the cell they are binding to the nuclear receptor, and they are also known as famous with the steroid receptors. With this talk I am going to stop here, and the details of these receptors I will explain in later video. Thank you.